So welcome everyone to our NEDARC Tech Talks for the month of June. We're happy to have you all here. I know that NPRP assessment is still going strong, so we're always happy that you can join us for this half hour. Next slide, please. So today for Tech Talk, we're going to keep building on the skill building on promotion that we've been doing for the past couple of Tech Talks. We're going to be focusing on creating and managing a Facebook group. And we're going to have Chris Hoffman, a former NEDARC staff, joining as a guest presenter today. Next slide, please. Now, as always, let's go over the group norms. All the skills are welcome. We love that participation. So that could be on the phone, in the chat box. Remember, if you are on the phone, to do the mute, not the hold. And let's have some fun trying new things. I'll be monitoring the chat and responding to any questions that you may have. And Braden will let us know we're about 20 minutes past the hour, where we'll have 10 minutes remaining. Next slide, please. So on Monday, we sent you over our 2 challenges, which was 1, to create a Facebook group that will help further the goals of your EMSC program. And the second was then to create an update a cover image or a banner for your Facebook group. Now, we haven't done those, it's okay. Today, we're gonna be learning how to do these 2 things. So let's get started.
Awesome. Thank you, Eddie, for that introduction. I am Chris Hoffman, and I am a former, I'm a recovering NEDARC employee. Actually, some of the best times I'm so proud to be able to be back with my group of friends here and present for everybody, and on a topic that I think is actually a lot of fun with Facebook and Facebook groups. So let's just dive right in here. Oh, I did want to mention this is a conversation. If there's a question that you have, I do have breaks in the presentation for questions, but also if you have a question, please feel free to unmute yourself and let me know you have a question, or put a question into the chat, and one of the moderators will let me know that you've put that in there, and we'll see if we can get an answer to your question. So, to go over what we're going to go over today, first section is about pages versus groups. What's the diff, right? Section 2, we're going to be talking about how do I actually start a group and go through the step-by-step process. Then we will move on to promotion ideas, things that you can do to promote and engage your group. I have a group, now what? And questions. At the end, we will have time for questions and other topics here, maybe a couple movie reviews if we have time for that. So section 1, pages versus groups. What's the diff? So in a previous Tech Talk, I believe it was last month's, and if you want to review that information, Braden gave that presentation and it is available on the NEDARC YouTube page. But just as a quick refresher, what is a Facebook business page? We were discussing this before we started the presentation. Facebook did not do a great job, in my opinion, of naming these things, because there's what's a page, what's a profile, what's a group, you know, so trying to find help information on the internet becomes difficult, because the search engine, you start looking up Facebook page and it's not 100% sure which kind of page it is. So I think it's helpful to go through a couple of the definitions here. So previously you did talk about a business page. So example of that is the NEDARC page that I have a picture of over here on the side. What do you use a business page for? So a page is for announcements and updates. It's your official public presence on Facebook. It's a place where people who are interested in your information in your organization can get in touch with you. It's a lot of places, there's a lot of businesses and organizations now that are relying solely on a Facebook page, not even having a website presence anymore. So they're becoming, for good or for ill, they are a necessary thing for helping with engagement with audiences. It can be used for advertising. These can be used for advertising products and events, and so that's specific for business pages. And then it uses algorithmic distribution to send out updates and things that you add to the page. And so what's in algorithmic distribution? I'm going to age myself here a little bit, but I'm going to see who remembers the old Fabergé shampoo commercials, where the spokesperson for Fabergé would come onto the screen and she'd be like, I'm getting Fabergé shampoo, and I'm going to tell 2 friends about Fabergé shampoo, and they'll tell 2 friends, and they'll tell 2 friends, and then the screen starts to honeycomb with a whole bunch of this same spokesperson talking about the shampoo. That's what algorithmic distribution is. When you post something on Facebook and put a post, the more engagement that that post receives, the more people will see that post. So if you put up a post about an event that you're having with your organization, and 2 people, it'll be shown to 5 people. If you have like 500 fans, 1,000 fans that are, or likes on your page, people who are following your page, it will send it out to a portion of those people. And so how much that is, nobody knows. Facebook keeps that kind of under wraps, but it sends it out to a percentage. So it'll send it out to 10 people, let's say, for example. If those 10 people engage in some way, put a like, do a share, that sort of stuff, more people in your list will see those. That's one of the ways Facebook makes a lot of money, is that you can pay to have more people see those posts and updates that you're making on the page. Excuse me. So that's what algorithmic distribution is. So Facebook group, what's the difference there? So a group is a space. I'm going to take a drink here because starting to get a real froggy voice there. So in Facebook groups, that's a host for the community. So a Facebook page is a one-to-many communication. So you put out a post and then people engage with it. A Facebook group is a many-to-many communication. Anyone who's part of the group can post to the group. So you, as the administrator or the moderator, can post to the group, and then members of the group can engage with that post. But then also members of the group can post to that group, and then the moderator and the group can engage with each other. So your job in a group is to be the host and to facilitate discussions. One of the cool things about Facebook groups is that the distribution is more heavily weighted. So in a regular Facebook page, there's a certain weight to how many people see that post. A Facebook group post is weighted more heavily, so more people see things that are posted to a group than they see posted to a Facebook page. So a lot of times what people use a Facebook group for is to make sure that more people are getting information about events and topics of discussion that are important to your organization or to somebody's brand. So that's a quick overview of the difference between those two. Do we have any questions so far before I start to move on into how you actually start a group? Okay.
No questions. Yeah.
No problem. So that means I've convinced everybody. Awesome. I wish that I got some sort of kickback from Facebook for this. So I don't, full disclosure, make sure that I do not get any sort of financial incentive for that. So now that you're all convinced that a group is exactly what you need, let's go ahead and see how to set one up. So what we do to start a group is, it's very simple, 5-step process here. So when you log into Facebook, in the upper right-hand corner of the screen, you'll see a plus sign. If you click on that plus sign, you get a set of options, and one of them is actually to set up a page, and one of them is to set up a group. In this instance, you'll want to click on the set up a group button. It'll prompt you to enter your group name, and so that name is, I like to add group onto the name so that you can make sure that everybody who's joining it or seeing posts for it understand where that information is coming from. Next, you can set up your privacy option. So there are two different kinds of groups. You can either have them public or you can have them private. Public means that everyone on Facebook can see the group and can see who the members of the group are. If you select private, then you can select one of two different kinds of private groups. You can have a visible group or a hidden group. If it's a private group but visible, then people can still see the group and see the members of the group. If it is a private hidden group, then nobody can, not everybody on Facebook, only members of the group can see the group and see who the members of the group are. So step 4, you can add people to the group. If you already know that there's someone that needs to be a member of the group, either as an admin or a moderator or as a user, and you don't mind them being part of the group during the construction of the page, you can add them at this point. And so, and that's just by adding their Facebook page to there. You'll be able to add them and then click an invite, and then click on create, and you have a spanking new startup group that will look like this. And so it has the same basic sections that any Facebook page has. It has the hero image or banner image that you have at the top of the screen. You have the button to invite people into the group. There's an about section so that you can give people an idea of what the group is about. You have topics, members, events, media. Media is where you post your videos and whatnot. And then there's discussion, which acts exactly the same way as a post does. So if you have a personal Facebook page and you're used to posting pictures of your vacations or family members and whatnot, this works exactly the same way. You have the option to post a video, tag people, put your feelings up, share your feelings in your Facebook group. And then it goes down, there's a whole bunch of other things that you can do with this, but those are the basics for a Facebook group. One of the things is that how do you set an admin? So say, for example, that you have a group and then you have another member of your organization that needs to be able to do things on the page in an administration fashion, or you have an intern that's helping out with the group. From inside of groups, you can click on groups in the left-hand side and look at the members of the group. Someone to be set as an admin or a moderator, they have to be a member of the group already. So before this step, you would invite someone to the group and then go to the member section. There's the dot menu in there. And then you'll have a section that says invite to be an admin or invite to be a moderator. And so asking someone to be an admin or a moderator begs the question, what's the difference between an admin and a moderator? So the difference between an admin and a moderator is what you might guess, is that an admin has a lot more rights than a moderator does. An admin has the rights to add more admins and moderators, the rights to remove admins and moderators, and they can manage group settings. So the name, the cover photo, privacy settings and whatnot. Moderator and admin both have the powers to approve and deny membership requests, approve or deny posts, remove posts if there's, and comments if there's problems, remove and block problem people from the group, and to pin or unpin a post. So pinning a post means that if you put a post, it will always show up in as the first post of the feed. It's very handy for putting things up like group norms, topics, anything that you'd like to see, events that are coming up, anything that you'd like new members or members who haven't been to the page or reminders, so that it's always the first thing that people see when they come to the group. So what are other things that you can do with a live page or with a group page is you can go live. So if you've ever been on Facebook and you see people who are doing live events, that is something you can do within a group as well. And so if you go live on a page, people who are fans of your page will be notified. If you go live in a group, people who are part of the group will be notified that you are going live. I mentioned that you can pin messages just like you can on a Facebook business page. You can schedule posts. So if you have a post that you want to schedule, that you can write it beforehand and it will post at a later date. I believe it needs 2 hours of lead time to actually be able to go out and I think it's between 2 hours and somewhere like 6 months that you can set up your posts. So that gives you an opportunity to preload engaging content to your group without having to do it all the time. You can set it up for the week, for the month, for several months. You can customize the web address. So instead of someone having to remember facebook.com/group/1693 blah 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 messy address, you can customize the web address to say what they call a vanity name, so that it is easier for users to be able to click on. It looks better as a link. A note on the web address: once you get over 5,000 members of a group, you can't change the name anymore. So if your group gets super popular, and you get a whole bunch of fans in there, be sure what you're changing the web address to. On the groups, you can see analytics. So how often people are coming to the group, how many posts they're reading, which are the most popular posts, etc. Most of the analytics that you get out of a page, you can see in a group as well. In groups, you can turn on badges, which is kind of cool. It gives a gamification incentive for people to engage with the group. So badges are awarded for people who post for the first time, respond for the first time, after they have 10 posts, 50 posts. It's a preset set of badges that either you turn on or off. It's not one that you can set up particular badges. And the badges will only show up on people's profiles while they are engaging in the group. And so it is not something that follows you around Facebook that says you're the top poster in such and such group around Facebook. It's only people in the group will see that. And it's another way to indicate who's engaged, who's an authority in the group, who knows what they're talking about, that sort of thing. I believe this link, surprisingly, there's not a lot of companies that do a super great job, especially web companies that have like help pages about how to do things. Facebook help pages are actually quite good. I'm very pleasantly surprised at this. I believe this link will be in the chat, and you can screenshot from here if you want to read the official Facebook page for help on what else you can do with your Facebook page, Facebook group, excuse me. So I have just spewed a whole ton of information about how to set up your group, how they work, things that are particular, and what you can do there. Are there any questions that people are having right now about how to set it up, how they work, anything that this has sparked with anyone?
And you can add it to the chat or just use your audio.
Certainly. While you're thinking about your questions there and typing them in, there is little downside to trying out a group. They don't cost anything extra. It's not a subscription-based thing. There's no hard costs, I should say. Obviously, there's soft costs of people learning how to use it, administrating it. You have to keep those in mind that for a successful group, engagement needs to be made. So soft costs, certainly. But as far as soft costs or hard costs are concerned, there's no subscription. It doesn't change anything in your as far as your Facebook account is concerned. So I highly recommend trying them out and seeing if it's something that's going to work for your organization. Yeah.
We do have a question from Jane Osler.
Yes.
She's asking, Chris, can you own a Facebook group name the way a web address is owned?
Oh, it's a great idea. Great question. So when you sign up with the terms of service with Facebook, they keep control of everything, and so it is their URL. If you have the vanity name in there and then you leave, that's it. Facebook keeps the analytics, the data, the name. I believe that they even have the right to use it in advertising and whatnot. And that's the terms of service for using a page. a personal page, a group, anything that you do on Facebook, they keep a pretty tight hold on. They changed the rules for large companies. I'm 100% sure Disney has a different deal with Facebook than I do. But yeah, that would be a thing to keep track of, that if it is something that you feel like that you are that Facebook doesn't work with your like if there's some sort of future change in the terms of service, or something happens and Facebook's just not around anymore. Those factors are something to keep in mind when you are setting up something, if it becomes a key operating procedure or something that you're using in your business or your organization, that it's not 100% yours, and it's and that Facebook is also using this data in ways to figure out things. That's any social media file that you're, any social media platform that you're using, or any internet platform that you're using. There is some sort of way that they are using that that information to build social profiles and whatnot. Can be a good thing, can be a bad thing. You kind of have to decide for yourself whether it's something you want to engage in, if the benefits outweigh the the perceived downsides or actual downsides of what you're working with. Eddie and I have had wonderful long conversations about how all this stuff works. But like I said, one of the things about groups is that it doesn't necessarily have to be just like an overarching group about your entire organization. A group can be very successful in sort of a transitory function. So you could create a group that is built to fix one problem or to do one project. And you say, for example, that you are working with
Chris, you're at 20 minutes.
I'm at 20 minutes. Okay, so I will stop there with the most jarring ending. If you have any questions about this, I'm more than happy to answer questions offline.
And Chris, we actually have about 7 minutes remaining. So we
Seven. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought 20 minutes was time. My bad.
No.
Okay,
sorry about that, Chris.
No worries. No worries.
So we actually got one more question from Catherine. She's asking is, should your group name be different from your page name? Should you even have both or just one?
That's a great question. I thank you for bringing that up. I personally would differentiate them with a name, one that with a group having the word group in the name somewhere, as work group or topic for your work group. What I was going to say is that you can have a group that is based on a topic. So I know sometimes your organizations are working on live events, and it is entirely usable to create a group that is just about building towards an event. So everyone that's involved in that event, you have even people outside of the of your strict organization, people who are helping with stage management or venue or something like that. They can be in the group, so that when they see conversations back and forth, it's an easy way to tell people, to notify people when you are asking them a specific question. And so the other thing that I heard in your question was, how do I use groups and pages together? And so one of the things in a group that groups are not necessarily for advertising or for a particular what am I trying to say here? So the page is more for announcements. That is things where you say from your sage on the stage vantage point, I am going to broadcast to you that there is an event coming up. I'm going to broadcast to you that 2 people in the office were wearing the same shirt today, and boy, isn't that funny. I'm broadcasting to you that it is National Sunglasses Day. And then send a picture back and with your sunglasses on. And then that one thread of that topic lives on the page for as long as it's there. In a group is something where but it's always on the page, it's always coming from you as the admin. No one else can post to your page except for you. In a group, someone from your group could come in and say, I have an idea for something, and they could start the thread. One of your group members starts the conversation, and then you engage with it. And that conversation may not even necessarily involve you as an administrator or a moderator at all. It could have a set of people who are part of the group who solve a problem on their own or have a discussion point on their own. And the only thing that you end up doing is moderating the discussion if it goes off topic or becomes a problem. I'll leave it at that. But that's the way that I would use those two things, is thinking about your page as billboard advertising. It's buying an ad in a magazine or putting up a poster on the circus is coming to town, and they put the poster up on a fence. Whereas groups is a little bit more of a dynamic place to talk to where people can talk to each other. That doesn't mean that you can't cross-pollinate those things. Since pages are pages, you can share things into each other. So if you have an event that's on your page, you can share that event into your group, and then people can talk about it in the group setting rather than on your page setting. And so you get more used to the use of it, because the group, the people who are involved in the group will help dictate what the use of the group is. And so that's why I'm saying, like, you would have something, groups are really good about being around a particular topic or around so if that topic is putting on an event or creating a resource or creating a document or something like that, that's really great for groups, because and you can have a whole bunch of groups. You could have a group that is for each individual topic, and let the ideas generate and go in there. The thing about a group is, if you don't have engaged group members, the group won't be very successful. So you can, if it's just if there's one post in there that says, hey, everybody, welcome to the group, and then nobody engages with it, that's the end of the group. But also, there's not a huge downside to that, because if it fails there, or if it doesn't, fail's a harsh word. If it doesn't meet the needs that you thought it was going to, there's zero consequences to just getting rid of it too. They're just as easy to delete as they are to create, So
and Tetrarin says that that she finds that groups can garner more feedback than pages, and it's maybe what you're getting at with that engagement.
Yes.
Now we have 2 minutes, Chris. Was there anything else that you wanted to maybe make sure that the group took away today?
Yes, thank you, Eddie. So in the engagement ideas, we kind of talked about there that if you don't have ideas of something that you just want to do, this is a cool list that I found of things that you can engage your group with if you're finding that they're not engaging with you. These are things that can be used on a page too, but I think that these sounded like a lot of fun for working in a group. So ask everybody in the group to name something that starts with a specific letter. These are great brain working ideas. Like if you need to do something as a brainstorming exercise before you're tackling a problem. Ask everybody how their Friday night was. What was just to break the ice, get people used to posting in your group, so that it's not such a they don't have like this. They've already posted the group something that is innocuous. They don't mind engaging when it becomes more of a higher stakes question. Describe your profession. Let us know a little bit more about yourself, so that people can know each other a little bit more on a personal level and feel more comfortable engaging in conversations, knowing who the person is. What's your favorite emoji and how do you use it? Create a sentence using your name letters. And so you can take a screenshot of this. It'll be available on the YouTube site. I just
added a screenshot right now.
Awesome. And so it's in the chat right now. These are fun things that you can work with. I'll also show one more screen here. These are the pros and cons that I was able to find about a group. Once again, you can take a screenshot of this and read it at your leisure, but it basically comes up with the pros are anyone can share content. That is also a con. Anyone can post and share content. So if your group gets super popular with a lot of people into it, it can be a chunk of your time to be able to moderate that, and especially if those subjects go off topic for what the group is supposed to be about, it can take a lot of your time to be able to moderate those groups. But if you are getting a lot of benefit out of it, it may be worth the time and effort it does take to moderate. It helps with the group members finding resources. You can post resources in there and pin it to the top and say, these are the most used resources for our group. And if that's basically what the group gets used for, is as a frequently asked question or as a resource repository, that's great. That's just a fine way to use this. There's no right way to absolutely use groups. It's just a way that if it works for if it is solving problems that you're having with your organization. One of the cons, like I said, if your community isn't engaged, the group won't have a lot of content. If that's your goal, to have a lot of content in it. As with anything that you're using as a tool in your organization, having a set of goals of what you'd like to accomplish helps you measure whether the work you're putting into it is worth it or not.
Thank you, Chris.
Of course.
And can you go to the next slide, Chris? I believe we have a recap of our monthly challenges. Again, if you need help with creating a Facebook group, or you can reach out to any of the NEDARC TAs. We won't contract Chris out for this one, but you can reach out to any of the NEDARC TAs and we can support you with that. And the last slide that we have here is just, if you have any ideas for further tech talks, we are happy to design a tech talk. This tech talk, in fact, came from last month's feedback, where a lot of you wanted to know more about groups and wanted to know more about Facebook navigation. So thank you, Chris, for this session today. And we are over the 30, so if you have any questions, just send them over to me and I'll give them to Chris directly. Thank you all for your time today. We do appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody. Miss you.